I'm currently at Top Hut in the South Island of New Zealand, just over the summit of Omarama Saddle, and I've been bikepacking now with this setup on my Giant Revolt for about a month and a half. So I thought it'd be a good time to kind of do a run through on what I'm carrying. And it's not a light setup. I'm carrying a lot of camera equipment, well, full editing suite basically, to make these videos that I've been making. And yeah, I'm not racing. I don't need to be doing that on this trip, and it's a bit of added extra weight training, so when I do get back onto my racy setup, then I'll be flying. So yeah, without further ado, I'm glad I can get under it and don't have to take the panniers off. This is the beast. It's a Giant Revolt. So on the front of the bike, I have a quad lock to put my phone on. It's usually in my cargo bib shorts, but yeah, always handy to have that. Bike computer wise, I'm using a Garmin 1040 Solar. Great battery life, and yeah, it's huge screen and solar. Over 100 hours if you put it on battery saver mode, which is good. And then very overkill, but I'm using an Exposure 6-pack, and yeah, lights up the night, and yeah, you've got no worries with battery life with that, which is kind of the main thing with bikepacking is, yeah, you're not going to use it all the time, but if you're using it lots over an extended period of time, you are going to drain the battery life, so it's good to have a light that will just go forever. Got a cap on here. So on the front here I have the tripod case for the rather large tripod that I'm carrying, and I have a Restrap dry sack, which is usually paired with the race bar bag, which is amazing, but you can't add the tripod on that as well. So I'm using the Jack the Rack pizza rack to be able to have both of those items on, both strapped on with Restrap straps. And yeah, I've got these in loads of different sizes with me, so I can use them for all sorts of things, and yeah, definitely worth bringing along. So in here, so I've not really mentioned the bars. I'm using the Redshift kitchen sink with inserts on the grips. Just protects your ulnar nerve. On this curve on the front I have a bell, and I also have the Redshift bag that goes in the middle, and that has a Garmin mount on top, so I don't need a separate Garmin mount. That's all on top of the bag. It's a really small bag, but it has my vitamin tablets. I've got a head torch, got my headphones, wireless headphones. I've got a life jacket, 50 plus, very high sun cream. And I've got a first aid kit in here. Plasters, ibuprofen, Imodium. Here I have a Restrap camera bag. I have a sun protection spray from Life Jacket, just for body, face and scalp. The ozone's not it's very strong here, the sun, or the UV. I've got some, this is a New Zealand thing, it's the natural confectionery, and that's just some sweets. Toothpaste, some nuts. I found these to be really good in New Zealand. They're Grays, they're a crafty blend, and yeah, backyard barbecue mix. I've got a Snowfire ointment stick, got a DJI mic, and that's what I've got in there. And then coming onto the top tube bag, always useful to bring some oil. You never know, with all the river crossings, it's good to have something to be able to stop that squeaky chain. Got a bigger Leatherman, so I've got two Leathermans. Probably don't need two, but yeah, bigger one for all the camping stuff that I need. And that's the trouble I found is give yourself the bag space and you will fill it. So yeah, obviously I had to put all my camera equipment in, so I'm carrying more bags, but then there's more little space to just chuck a few little things in, and then you end up carrying more than you need. So yeah, maybe give yourself less bags and you won't take as much. Then I've got some tent pegs. The long top tube bag is really handy to be able to have tent poles in. It's the perfect length to fit those. I have some Pix peanut butter slug, a hearty shot of smooth peanut butter. So yeah, I think this is more of a tramping kind of thing, but New Zealand has some pretty neat little hiking and bikepacking friendly items in all the supermarkets. So yeah, that's a sachet of peanut butter. I've got some Norwegian Formula 6-hour protection lip balm, which has lasted me ages. I think I've had this for over 10 years. I have my Migration Gravel Race buff. Got some more peanut butter. My toothbrush. I've got zip ties that are in here. Got my other Café Du Cycliste buff. They're great to keep the sun off and for the cold mornings, but they also add a layer of padding so that things aren't rattling about in the top tube bag. And yeah, what else can I mention on this bike? I'm using Hutchinson Tyres. They're both 45mm Tuaregs, and yeah, they've been spot on so far. It's been a month and a half now. We're most of the way down the South Island, and I need to go and find some wood because we haven't had a single puncture, which has been pretty mental so far. And yeah, it seems to be a common theme that on my big trips I don't tend to get any punctures. Oh, big thing, I'm running Enduro Bearings because I've been through a lot of rivers, and there's been a lot of rivers over the top of the bottom bracket, and I think if it wasn't for the Enduro Bearings in there, I'd have some corrosion. I'm using Restrap straps, which are always very handy to carry, to tie on some trainers. So I've got trainers with me, which is very overkill if you're going on a short trip, but seeing as I'm here for 3 months, it's always nice to be able to do some hikes and that sort of thing. So yeah, I've got some hiking shoes. With another Restrap strap, I'm carrying some Birkenstocks, the plastic ones, because then you can get them wet, take them in the shower, and they're very light. But yeah, if they do fall off when you're in rivers, they do float and go quite fast. So yeah, bear that in mind. Then the small Restrap panniers on the back, and in these I'm carrying a battery pack. So I've got this is a Nightcore NB 20,000 milliamp energy brick, carbon fibre weave on the outside, and yeah, I've used this on a lot of my ultra distance racing, so yeah, always handy to carry that. I've got a bag, a low pro bag for my camera, keep that padded out with another lens. So I'm carrying 2 lenses with me. Got some well-tied chain wipes here. I've got a ND filter to get that nice and smooth, like buttery motion blur. I've got some just lens cleaner and a lens wipe, just to make sure my camera equipment stays nice and clean, and so it's not got any smudge marks on when I'm filming. And then when the camera's not on my back, I'm carrying it on my back a lot at the minute, but when the camera's not on my back, it's stored in the pannier in this bag with extra padding. I've got some Ritz crackers, because they're a bit more difficult to find here. You get some crackers in New Zealand called snacks, and they're a knockoff Ritz cracker that are awful. They are just dry and taste stale out of the packet. So yeah, going for Ritz crackers. And they come in like nice handy little 3 pouches in the cardboard box. I'm also carrying a DJI Action 4 with a grill mount for all of the downhill shots, and yeah, getting some of the action. I've got an exposure lights box, just carrying all my cables, just all that cable mess. So yeah, lots of cables in there. Got a pair of swim shorts. They're just packing cubes. I've got 2 packing cubes here with my casual clothing. So I've got a pair of trousers, a t-shirt, some underwear, and some spare socks. Yeah, definitely bring some spare socks. Socks are always good, and that's all that's in that pannier. And then in my other pannier, carrying a Restrap pouch, and that's carrying my wallet, some lithium 2032 batteries for my shifters. They last a very long time, but if they do run out, then you're a bit screwed. I've got a spare SRAM battery, a few coins, and yeah, some bits for the plane on the way home to put in the disc brakes to stop them clamping shut. And that's what I've got in there. I've got the batteries for the DJI Action. Courtesy of Alex Turner, I have some bug repellent. So yeah, mosquitoes and sandflies. They're getting worse the further south we go. And yeah, just a Café Du Cycliste jacket with some mitts to keep off the bit of the chill. It is summer here, but you never know, cold mornings, and yeah. Also just keeping the sun off sometimes. It's quite nice to have some mitts. Well, full fingered mitts. Then very overkill, and yeah, don't carry this. It's a bit of a luxury item, but I've got some Sony headphones just for editing, and yeah, also courtesy of Emirates, a refresher towelette that I've carried for a long time and not used yet, but yeah, a luxury set of headphones. Got my Raubens ultralight towel. It's very lightweight, but I suppose with all these towels, it's like you'd rather have a big towel, but it doesn't cost. It's like very small and doesn't take up much room, so I've got that. Then my drone. So I've got a DJI Air 2S in this. Bit of a big drone, and yeah, getting all the nice shots, aerial shots when I'm allowed. There's a few signs saying in the tourist hotspots that no drones, but when you're out in the sticks, I think it's pretty okay to put it up. It's the biggest drone I've carried on a bikepacking trip. Usually I'm carrying a smaller drone. The MacBook Pro in a protective case with all my stickers on it. That's how I'm editing all my videos, with Final Cut Pro. And yeah, I've edited videos in the past on the phone, but I'm a bit used to the big laptop now, so yeah, I think the phone would be a bit painful now that I'm used to something better. Some Café Du Cycliste shorts. I've got some hanging up that are drying from washing them in the river. And then a Raubens Primer Vapor blow up mat. And yeah, pretty small, but not the smallest they do. Bit more comfort, but still a nice pack size. It just fits in the bottom of the pannier just there. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention this. I've got a Restrap, well, it's a prototype Restrap rear bag with which is like solid as a rock, but that's housing my Raubens sleeping bag. It's a synthetic 600 fill. I'm not sure what it's called. It's the Icefall Pro 300, which is good to, well, comfort to 5 degrees, and extreme survival is -7, but yeah, comfortable at 5 degrees. So perfect for the New Zealand summer. And that's the only thing that I fit in the rear bag here. Two bottles, with one with a Restrap bottle cage, and the other just a giant bottle cage with a tool storage in the bottom here. I'm using SRAM Force, and then pedals I'm using Crank Brothers. On the bottom here I have a tube here with a Restrap strap. I have a pouch with all the tools I need. So tyre levers, chain tool, plugs, spare brake pads. This is a pretty cool tool. It's a just a tiny little Leatherman. It's always useful to have. Nick Vieri put me on that. Ever since All Points North, I've got a Lesign multi-tool with a chain breaker on, all the Allen keys you need. I think it's a Super SV. Also in the Restrap frame bag, I've got another spare tube, just in case. I've got a Clif Bar, white chocolate and macadamia. I can't believe that's not been eaten yet. I've got a spare set of socks, a Lesign Pocket Pro high volume, and then handy with the giant revolt is you have the storage in the frame, your little lunch box, and in that I have the giant bag, and in here I have spare cleats, a Restrap boot kit, some patches just in case all the tubes go, and spare valve and spare rear mech hanger. On the front here I've got Restrap cargo cages with down tube bags that also work perfectly on the forks. And they're just strapped on like so. Yeah, it's got some rusty bolts there. These are just like the perfect size. So I've got a wind vest from Café, and I've got a mountain liner from Raubens, just in case it gets cold. I've got my blow up pillow, which is courtesy of Alex Turner again, and I didn't use this on the North Island, and I'm an absolute convert. Oh, this jersey is one of my favourites. It's super loose, long sleeve, and it's one of their running vests, but works perfectly on the bike. And yeah, nice and loose and cool. Another pair of socks. Other thing I'm carrying is a Lesign pocket torque drive. Always good to have a torque wrench. I'm also wearing this insulated jacket from Café Du Cycliste. I'm also carrying a very mini gas stove. What's your favourite thing you're carrying?
What's my favourite thing?
Yeah.
Probably my pyjamas.
The saddle I'm using is a Physique and Tyres adaptive, and it's something that Nick doesn't think I'm going to keep clean because of all the holes in it, but it looks pretty sweet to me. Yeah, so it doesn't need taking much looking after, because if I can keep it clean, then I think anyone can. Giant wheels, filming on a Canon R6 Mark II. So yeah, with a dead cat on the top.